But that's not the opinion of the NAACP. No board member that I spoke with wants to see Morgan publicly humiliated, but most seem to feel that politically they cannot afford to let his racial jokes stand unchallenged.
This is very Christian, very, very devout, religious people going to and fro, fighting for what they feel is the right to be racist, the right to offend, the right to retaliation, fighting for the white man. This is what I see whenever I see people fight for the white man. This is what I see. And that's all I see. That's all I see over and over again. And I could do this all day. I could do this all day because it happened in 2026. It happens in the 2020s. And I'd like to show you that it still happens to this day. Without Twitter, without other stuff, it keeps happening.
College-educated people still tend to be more violent and criminal than white high school dropouts.
Really?
Yeah, the facts do remain that Negro children do not perform as well in school as white children. Now, you can ascribe whatever reasons you want, they're arguable. But the statement I just made is not arguable because it's a matter of fact. The strength of the Negro race does not lie in the field of academic achievement as a group. Again, making this generalization, which doesn't apply to individuals, where there is its strength. In fields of emotion, in arts, in music, and things of that kind. If you lose the suit, if you lose the court case, what will happen? Then I think Melbourne School District 12 will become a totally Negro community. Why? Because I think the whites will get out and the Negroes will come in.
It's important to note that interwoven into these tropes about community building and heritage celebration is a much more intense core, and one that embraces controversial and outdated race science.
The average IQ in some parts of sub-Saharan Africa is under 75, which is considered mentally disabled.
These tests were made for the purpose of figuring out who's going to do well in school. And it doesn't tell you about emotional intelligence, creative intelligence, common sense, wisdom. There's so much more to a person than just their IQ. I would say the major problem has been what's sometimes called scientific racism, but it's not really scientific, is using the guise of science to advance racist views. Because you sometimes get racial differences in different kinds of test scores, including IQ, that don't take into account where those differences may come from. It was convenient for some people to say, well, look, we can divide people by nationality or socially defined race or ethnic group or religion into different IQ groups, and they probably believe themselves that it told you something, but it didn't tell you what they thought it told you. People with high IQs are often better at convincing themselves of whatever they want. So in other words, they use their IQ for self-justification. They're better at justifying whatever they want to believe. So if they have an ideology, they may have a very weird ideology, but they'll find ways to defend it even if it's not factually accurate.
A while back, someone told me that the reason my hair coils is because my blood flow is restricted and that I'm stupid, which is really fun. I enjoy this information about myself. I had no clue about this, and that my skull shape, the specific skull shape that I have, is not fit to academia in any capacity. It's not. I didn't know that. This is all so fun to me. It's this very fun racial science of phrenology. And Chud the Builder to me proves that America has always been and will remain to be racist until we get these initiatives going through. And with people such as Donald Trump going against DEI initiatives and undoing all the hard work and hard-fought work of America just to pressure up and push back up the white man to disenvalue and disenfranchise other races, it's horrifying. I do understand the mindset of people that say, well, I think that we need to have equal people. We need to do it merit-based and based on your actual skill. We can't do that in America yet. We don't have the ability and power to do that in America yet. We don't have that strength because people are still based on skin color, race, and other factors that are biases. We want to do it logic-based, but humans are not logical creatures. We are horribly emotional creatures. I'm a horribly emotional creature. I'm a man emotional. It could be a woman in emotional. You could be non-binary and emotional. It doesn't matter what you are. We are emotional. Your favorite flavor of ice cream. Your preference in women, your preference in man, your preference in animal, your preference in decor style. It's all emotional based. It's all based on a bias, based on the social, economical factors around you, based on the biases inside of your emotional space. That is how you operate. The reason you don't want to go out, the reason you don't want to go to work, all emotional based, and you use logic to justify it. Well, I don't feel good. Emotional reaction, and then you use logic. If I go to work and I don't feel good, then I'll perform worse, so I should call off and use my PTO. Every single decision you make is emotional first and then logic-based second. And people are using racial logic to use this backing. That's how it's always been. It's just how it works. And I can show you countless things like this, and I will show you countless things like this.
Go into a crowd of white strangers, there's some danger. Black strangers, there is 30 times more danger against the blacks.
I'm afraid of them.
Of who?
Of them, the black. I'm afraid of them.
What harm could they do? What's wrong with them? They're black. That's what's wrong with them. And the way I feel, black and white don't mix, and it's never going to mix.
There were a lot of really good people who were and are racist. And I don't know how you explain or justify, or a lot of people wouldn't even accept the fact that you can be both. But in my belief, you can. For instance, there were a lot of people who were willing to, when Emmett Till was murdered, there were people who were willing to accept the fact that, I don't remember if they said it was a prank or what, but I mean, there were stories that this didn't really happen before they found the body. And there were people who were willing to accept that. There was the same kind of attitude was with almost everything, where there was not an immediate finding of a body. There was always this thing, this is something somebody's made up, just a lot of denial. A lot of people who didn't want to believe this sort of thing would happen and would refuse to accept the fact that it was happening. There was a real fear that if you let blacks get control, everything would change, and there was some higher level of trust, even of dishonest or corrupt white politicians, than of a black in some position of authority over you, for people who had grown up with these myths and fears, so that it was easier to stick with somebody that you might not have even cared for, who was white.
I've lived my entire life under the ideals my father has instilled into me. My father has been maimed, he has been dragged by his neck by cars, he has fought his entire life for many powerful things. So I'd like to show you my father, if I could. I'd like to show you my dad.
This time last year,
I make my own trail mix, and my ingredients for my trail mix have went up like almost 15 to 20% more. And so, yeah, this economy is really, it's hitting a high point.
Cornelius Whaley says he used to spend $15 to $20 just to make his trail mix. Now, when he steps up to the checkout counter for these ingredients, it typically adds up to $35. Whaley's also noticed a huge spike in eggs and meat.
You have to really know what you want, know how much you want, because if the sticker shock will get you.
That man now concerned about grocery prices and the rising cost of everything is my dad. Whaley, my dad. I'm a Whaley. Theros Whaley, dad named me that. Very happy and proud of my name. Very happy and proud of my lineage. Very happy and proud of that man. Like the horrors he wrought upon me in my childhood, he instilled in me the mindset that you shouldn't hate people. As a matter of fact, never hate people. Hate ideas. Hate ideals. Hate ideology. Because the people are influenced by the ideologies, and you are not a person to a lot of people. You're black. Not Saros, Lambiet, Bausdorf, Kaiser, Whaley, that's not you. You're not Seros, Zeta, Grant, that's not you. That's my name, by the way. It's not you. You're just black. That's all you are. You're not an individual. And they may value you on an individual basis. They may find you articulate and intelligent and amazing. But you gotta remember, for a lot of people, before you're human, you're black. Before you're black, you're an N-I-double-G-A. And I think of that all the time. I think of what he said to me. I think of how his mindset felt so powerful to me when I was growing up, and it inspired me to continue and speak and try my best to understand people and do my best to hear people out. And I think I've gotten my answer. So imagine you had a pet, not like a beloved family dog, a working dog, a dog you bred for labor, bought and sold, separated from his family when it sued you. You told this dog that it was less intelligent, less feeling, less human. You built buildings with this dog's labor. You accumulated wealth that this dog could never touch. 200 years of this. 200 years of using this dog. 200 years of the dog building your world while you told yourself the dog was lucky to be fed. Then one day, dog learns to talk. Oh, hold on. Strange. The dog asks for basic dignity. You resist, but the dog keeps asking. And eventually, you reluctantly agree to let the dog go. But the dog says, okay, there's just one word you cannot call us. A word you used while you kept us in chains. A word that burns in a lot of the dog's ears. Just don't say that one word, right? This is important. And your response, oftentimes, is to argue, to demand evidence that the word still hurts, to insist that you should be allowed to say it because you invented the word. You invent the word. Because you have free speech. This whole country is founded on the ability to say whatever you want. Because the dog is too sensitive. Do you not understand why the dog cannot just let it go? You have to give the dog voting rights after all. What more does the dog want? Dog looks at you and sees the houses you built with its grandparents' labor, the bank account you inherited from the system you designed to keep its family poor, the movies that never showed its face unless it was serving someone like you, the schools that taught its children less because the funding came from its neighborhood, not yours, the Head Start you pretend you earned instead of inherited. The dog is tired. The dog has been explaining this for generations. The dog has watched you nod along, claim to understand, then turn around and whisper the word when you think no one is listening. A dog can you test the bounds. Say it in private, say it in a joke, say it in a song lyric you claimed you were just quoting. Say it because you want to know what will happen. The dog knows that your desire to say the word is not about free speech. It is about control. It is about the discomfort of being told no by someone who was thought was beneath you. It is the loss of a world where you can say anything, without consequence. You want to say the word, because saying it feels like reclaiming something you never lost. You had power. You had wealth. You had the institutions. You had the benefit of the doubt in every room, every interview, every application, every interaction with police. The dog had none of that. The dog only had the word. That is a dog's privilege. The word was not a weapon when the dog reclaimed it. The word was a scar. Scar you kept picking at. A scar you insist is not a scar because you cannot see the wound anymore. They have all this fur. The fur grew back. However, the wound did not heal. The dog will keep asking you not to say it. The dog will keep being disappointed when you argue. The dog will keep wondering why this word matters so much to you. You have everything. You have 200 years of head start. You have generational wealth. You have movies and music and banks and buildings and the benefit of the doubt. The dog has one word. One word that means, I see you, I remember, I am still here. You cannot even give the dog that. You cannot even let the dog have one word without demanding a share. That is not equality. That is a dog that learns to talk to a master who never learned to listen. You're master, right? Oh, master, oh, this, oh, that. And I'm one of the good ones, aren't I? Right? I'm not one of the good ones. It's horrifying. We have to put in place all these things for the dog to get a little bit of help. We have to do all these things. Say, okay, well, the dog can have these initiatives, and we'll call them DEI. Dogs eat intelligently. Call it that. Dogs eat intelligently. And we'll let the dogs eat. Dogs will eat. It'll be amazing. Then everybody says, well, why are we giving the dog benefits and we don't get any benefits? What are the laws for us? The laws have always been for you. We're now giving laws to the dogs as well. No, that's not fair. Well, I want specific laws for me. They have privilege. You've had privilege your entire life. No, I haven't. Well, I've never benefited from anything. Okay. Well, you've never benefited from it. Not once. I'm poor. I'm poor and working. And my family struggles is just like those dogs over there. Well, yeah, we're all poor and struggling. That's fair. you have a better chance of not struggling. That's not true. I've never experienced it. Well, when you go for a bank loan, I get that bank loan and I pay it back, but I'd be in debt if I don't pay it back. The dog can't even get the loan. Oh, he should work harder. What he should do. Let me explain something to you very importantly. I think white privilege, this is very important. It is not the abundance of opportunity. No one's coming up to you and giving you all these things. It is the absence of obstacles. That's it. You don't have any obstacles. There's no obstacles in your rise to the top. Right? The dog is not your equal yet. It's not because the dog is less capable, it's because you spent 2 centuries making sure the dog starts a race in a different zip code with different shoes, different nutrition, different expectations, different chances to fail. Equality is not a word you get to say after a lifetime advantage. Equality is an outcome you work toward. It's not achieved the moment you stop actively harming. It is achieved when the harm is repaired. The word is not the repair. The word is the minimum. We are asking for the minimum. I do not hate Judge for saying the N-word. I despise how he uses the N-word and weaponizes it. That's it. That's it. The minimum is not a negotiation. I'm not negotiating the word. The minimum, the bare minimum, the federal minimum wage, that is the floor. Step over it. Leave the word alone. The dog acts nicely. The dog has been asking nicely for a very long time. You may be asking yourself, why do I use the word dog? That's so dehumanizing. We are seen as a very superior pet, is what I remember hearing, right? Very superior pet.
Family has lived for 8 generations since 1672. Norwood Hasty was asked if he thinks slavery was immoral.
No, I don't. When a slave came from Africa, he couldn't speak the language. He was totally untrained to do any job at all that would fit in with the civilization. Someone had to take care of him. Someone had to take care of him 24 hours a day. And it's pretty hard to do that unless you own the person. So I think slavery just had to be in those early days.
Every man, woman, and child in Mississippi can rationalize how they have always been friends to the colored man. All of a sudden they wake up here one morning and are told that what the way they've operated for the last 100 years is wrong. This is a hard thing to just tell a man that he spent his life doing something wrong. He doesn't have to believe it. And then all of a sudden, if you live in Mississippi and run a cotton plantation, you're supposed to be some kind of demon. This system was based on noblesse oblige by the landowner. But I don't have 83 families anymore, and I feel like I'm the daddy of it. I do not expect to ever have this relationship with the younger generation. The children of these men, they are oriented entirely different. They grew up in the 50s. They're conscious of the change in the status quo. They are fairly confused about what their position is. They don't want to be subservient.
From when I saw my mother and father and my brothers do while I was growing up, I feel that I don't want any of my kids to come in a world like this, because I know some days I saw my mother slaving from 6 in the morning in hot sun, 100-degree weather, from pulling a hoe in a field from 6 until night, with about an hour's break between us all this time. My father doing labor that machines wouldn't even be made to do hard. The labor's that bad. And I feel that if we've been working this long and can't even on the shirts on our back, Mississippi's going to either have to change or there can't be no more Mississippi. And we have to do this in any means as possible. Through our parents, we've earned Mississippi. There's no question about it, but you tell me I don't own anything she sweated on? I mean, how can that be? How can it be?
The white man does not want to give over his institution, and that's what people fear that would happen. You just don't want to turn over the reins of everything and give up control. Who wants to give up control?
Well, we have Okay, guys, get in the car. Let's go.
But would you paint a picture for us of what it was like on the plantation in your early days?
Everyone was happy. We never heard of all these things that we hear about today. And then it's no disgrace to say they're like children when we say that. It's because they are like happy children, some of them. Because they like sit in the sun rather than work hard. My father had everything thoroughbred, from the pigs, horses, to dogs, and the people had to be thoroughbred.
As far as the colored people were concerned, I feel that they were a good bit happier than they are now. They had less in the way of material things. And I can remember back in their 20s, and I was a small boy, they were always singing at their work. They had a great sense of humor. Now today, they just don't seem to care much about that as they used to.
What do you think are the differences between the races?
I think there's a refusal to accept responsibility. I think there's a lack of motivation. They don't worry like the white man. If they have troubles, they go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and that trouble is over.
Is it possible that white people have something to do with the lack of ability for blacks to assimilate into this culture?
Absolutely. But customs die awful hard. It takes a long time. And everyone knew years ago that the Negro would have to be given equality. But in the South, it's been compared to straightening teeth. It takes a slow, steady pressure. You can't do it with a hammer. And white people's attitudes will change in time. I'm a lot more liberal than I was 5 years ago, and I know I'll be a lot more liberal 5 years from now, and I think almost everyone else is in that category.
What has tended to make you more liberal?
Well, realization that the Negro is a human being like anyone else.
Mr. Hasty, what did you think we were before you began to think of us as human beings?
Well, in a way, we thought of you almost as a very superior pet.
Despite all the things I've shown you here today, despite all the things I've said, I do not think insulting people or tearing them down or wishing ill upon the children of future generations of white people and calling them evil just for being born is the correct way to do so. We will only continue the cycle of hatred and continue it further down. I know the horrors of the past. I've experienced the horrors of the present, and I've seen the nonsense and justifications by hundreds of racist people that justify the nonsense of tearing down DEI and America First and the white man getting their power back. And I've seen it over and over again. Currently in our administration, we have horrifying nature of things going on, and there's always this racial division, and it has never left this country. It's not new. I hate when people say I've never seen this before. It's so new to me. It's ignorant. It's wildly ignorant. This is how it's always been. This is what I've seen. This is the reality of the world and how it has always been for quite some time. And I pity racism. I pity the white people who justify using the name of the Lord, God holy He is. I pity all the people that worship the Lord and use His name in ways that are unfathomable. I pity the delusional people who think they are good and racist. I pity all of it. I pity the contradictory nature of human beings. And I pity you, Chet the Builder, for you think that saying this racist language, re-invoking this, is reclaiming something you feel you have lost. You are initiating a protest to a protest. And I hate that for you. I hope that you remain in prison for the rest of your life until time and continues. I hope that mindset that you have falls with you. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. And I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your good night, keep my lord. Don't happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love to ride when you're free.
If they don't have it, they come here.
these CPUs are assembled in China. So they apparently, I guess they have spare.
And they buy it from these warehouses, which are on the upper floors of the building. And they just have cards. There's like probably a dozen tall.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana. We've already sold over 2.9 million barrels, creating steady jobs for hard-working folks chasing the American dream. You can share in our success by investing with Phoenix Energy and get 9 to 13% annual interest through our Regulation D 506C bond offering. Join our next investor webinar to learn more about Phoenix Energy.
We knew selling the house we raised our kids in was going to be emotional, but we also knew it was the right decision for our next chapter.
We wanted to make sure we found an agent who really got that. Someone who wasn't just about making a sale, but about helping us make this.
I don't speak Chinese. That was probably insulting and definitely could be considered racist. But Donald Trump, he had his private one-on-one meeting with Xi Jinping. All glory to the Communist Chinese Party. We love you, Supreme Leader Xi Jinping. But and then after that, he immediately did an interview with Bret Baier, where I'm not kidding. I actually support. I'm not kidding. I can't believe I'm saying this. I support Donald Trump's relationship with China right now, because Donald realized who the alpha is. And it's the Chinese. It's Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping is the alpha. And Trump is saying shit like, we don't want to have bad relationships with China. We don't want to go to war with China. Like, he understands that he could never in a million fucking years beat China in a war, especially considering the fact that we can't even beat Iran in a war, okay? So, and on top of that, I mean, Trump is getting, he's getting big dicked by Xi Jinping. Hassan put this perfectly in his stream yesterday, where he was like, Trump operates like an animal, right? And I don't mean this in an insulting way. I mean this in a literal way. Trump operates like an animal, and sometimes the best way to treat an animal is to, puff up your chest and show your fangs and make that animal understand, I'm the big dog. You're not the big dog. And that's exactly what this meeting seems to have been. Remember, Trump was slapping tariffs all over the fucking Chinese and thought that it would affect the Chinese economy. And of course, it did affect the Chinese economy, but they're fine. They got far more economic stability than we do. And he big dicked them the same way that Trump thinks he could bomb the Iranians into submission, and they're big dicking him. You know what I'm saying? They're like, go ahead, keep on fucking fighting. We don't give a shit. We ain't gonna fucking surrender, right? So, excuse me, I think that Trump has realized that Beijing and China and Xi Jinping, they are the true global hegemonic superpower. They have far more power than the United States. CNN compilation of Trump, China before and after. I'm going to see if I can find this, because I do believe I saw a little something where it was like, here it is. Is this it? It's like the difference between the way that Trump was talking about the Chinese before and after. CNN played this here. Let's get a look at it.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country. China's taking our jobs, our money.
We've had a fantastic relationship. Such respect for China.
We don't want you buying our land. We don't want you taking the land and basically taking it off the market.
You want to see farm prices drop? You want to see farmers lose a lot of money? Just take that out of the market.
There are about 31%, almost 31% of foreigners coming to Harvard. It's too much, because we have Americans that want to go there.
I could tell them, I don't want any students. It's a very insulting thing to say to a country. If you want to see a university system die, take 500,000 people out of it.
So essentially the point that CNN is trying to hammer down on is that as soon as Trump was face-to-face with Xi Jinping, he pussied out, as he always fucking does. He chickened out of the shit. And I want to show you a part of this interview that was edited out. Fox News refused to air this on their broadcast, but this is an actual part of the interview where Trump says in no uncertain terms that The only reason we are at war in Iran is because Israel told us to. I can't even believe that this is such a bad clip that Fox News cut it out. Then after this, we're going to watch the entire interview.
We don't need it at all.
We don't need it at all.
We don't need
They're talking about the Strait of Hormuz. We don't need it at all.
it at all.
Fair enough. So,
I mean, you could make the case, like, why are we even, we're doing it to help Israel and to help Saudi Arabia and to help Qatar and UAE and,
So Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, those are vassal states for the United States of America. And the United States of America is a vassal state for the nation state of Israel, right? And he says blatantly, and this is irrefutable now, that the only reason we are at war in Iran is because of Israel. We needed to do it to protect Israel. Your tax dollars, our sons and daughters will fight and die protecting Israel.
Wait, and other countries, Bahrain.
It also helps China.
We're actually, I told them today, I said, we're helping you. And we're helping you in another way because I don't think China wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon either. I said.
Notice how he says, I don't think. See, Trump is always willing to talk for other nations. He's willing to talk on the behalf of other people, other leaders, but he's not willing to do that with Xi Jinping. He's not willing to do that with China. And again, I can't stress this enough. It's because Trump respects authority. Trump respects power. Trump respects power. This is why he holds Vladimir Putin. He holds him in such beautiful light. He loves Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin operates by the sword. He's a fucking mass murderer, right? He also respects Xi Jinping because Xi Jinping is a fucking dictator.
Just don't go crazy. You don't need them having a nuclear weapon anymore.
What did he say?
Well, he's not going to respond to my shit. He's a pretty cool guy. He's not going to say, oh, gee, that's a good point.
I think he might.
What's he going to do? I mean, what a wonderful point.
You think he agreed?
Yeah, I think that was the impression. I don't think he wants them there. He would like to see it end.
All right. So that part was cut out of Fox News's clip, and I just want to show you what the president is actually focused on. This is what he posted. China has a ballroom, and so should the USA. It's under construction, ahead of schedule, and will be the finest facility of its kind anywhere in the USA. Notice how Trump used to say that this would be the finest ballroom on planet Earth. And then he visits China, sees their ballroom, and immediately realizes, oh, it's not going to be better than theirs. It's definitely going to be the best ballroom in the USA, but it's not going to be the best ballroom in the world. Thank you for all the support I have been given in getting this project going. Scheduled opening will be around September of 2028, right before my third term. The man I am walking with is President Xi of China, one of the world's greatest leaders, President Donald J. Trump. So, we're in the midst of, a global economic recession. We're in the midst of rising gas prices, rising grocery prices, the rising cost of living. Everybody's wages are going down. Inflation is skyrocketing. We're in a war in Iran. We just did a military operation in Nigeria yesterday. We're doing military operations in Ecuador. We're getting ready to invade Cuba. We're getting ready to invade Colombia. He wants to annex Canada. He wants to take over Greenland. All this, but don't worry. Donald is focused on the real issues at hand, like the ballroom. Fantastic. Okay, now it is time to watch the entirety of the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump's interview with Bret Baier in Beijing, China. Before we do watch this, I want to give you a quick reminder. Hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti, and this is the Valenti Pod. This is real independent media. I have no advertisers. I have no sponsors. I've never had a conversation with a government, a billionaire, a PAC, right? So if you do want to help support this channel financially, please do. My videos are not boosted in the algorithm because I'm a dissident of the regime. So first of all of you, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Do that right now. It costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. If you do feel gracious and want to help support me financially, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can buy merch like the posters or the mugs or the hoodies or the stickers. All that is located down below. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel, which will give you access to member-only content. And you can become a patron on Patreon by donating $1 a month, $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you want to donate. It's a big fucking help. Thank you very much for 150,000 subscribers. We got to keep this going. We got to keep this operation going. We got to make sure that the overwhelming majority of people end up joining the OAL. The only Americans left, where we have one common understanding, no matter your disagreements, which is that Donald J. Trump is a threat to democracy, okay? Other than that, thank you very much, and let's dive in.
Mr. President, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
You said that this summit is a success. As you get ready to head back to Washington, what's the most significant, specific thing you walk away from here for the U.S.?
I think the most important thing is relationship. It's all about relationship. I have a very good relationship with President Xi and with China. And it sounds like something that doesn't mean anything, but it's everything. And
oh, no, that means nothing, bro. We said you were just asked, what's the number one most important thing you're leaving this meeting with? You know, tell me your number one favorite concession that the Chinese are giving to the USA that makes us stronger. And he goes, oh, fuck all. I didn't get shit. We have a good relationship. I mean, like, he looked at me and he smiled a little bit. So, yeah. I know it doesn't sound like it means anything, but it means everything. No, that means nothing.
Deal making and problems to solve. The two of us have solved a lot of problems between that somebody else would have maybe done very badly with. We've solved a lot of problems over the years. We have a very good relationship. Trade has been very strong, getting a lot of soybeans for our farmers. We're doing a lot of...
What about all the tariffs you slapped on them, bro? You're talking about trade. You slapped on, like, massive fucking tariffs against China thinking that it would fuck with their economy, and it didn't do diddly shit. It only weakened us.
There's a lot of things happening for the farmers. He committed to 200 Boeings, big ones, 777s, 737s, and a lot of big ones, big, beautiful Boeing planes, 200, that's a lot. With a commitment that if they do a good job, and I told this to Boeing and General Electric, we're going to go to the General Electric engines, which are great. If they do a good job, we could go up to 750.
And that's obviously a lot of investment going back and forth. You know, some Democrats, even some Republicans, had some concerns about Chinese manufacturing on U.S. soil. Is that happening?
Well,
hello, Chris from Greece. Malaka!
They don't want to pay tariffs. It could happen.
They don't pay the tariff, Donald. We can't keep doing this fucking song and dance every single time you open your pedophile lips, bro. When you put a tariff on foreign goods, it increases the price of that foreign good. The people who pay that price are the at the end of the line, it's us, the consumers, but it's the what do they fucking call it? It's the guy at the port. It's the guy in America who is taking the fucking goods from the boats. He has to pay the increased price, and then he passes that price down as it gets transited across the nation, and eventually that price is increased for you, the consumer. It is not China paying writing a check and handing it over. The vendors, thank you. It's the vendors at the ports who have to pay the increased price, and then they pass on that increased price to the consumer. This is common fucking knowledge. This is basic fucking knowledge. This is not something that needs to be explained over and over again.
Just like it's happening with other countries and companies. We have now more money being invested in the United States than any country at any time in the history of the world, including China, which probably is second from about 10 years ago. We have $18 trillion in 11 months, not the 12th.
That's not true at all.
Month hasn't come in yet, the numbers. We have $18 trillion. If China wants to come in and wants to avoid tariffs, if they build here for them.
He's saying that since he became the president, we got 18 or 19 trillion dollars invested. I'm frankly certain that number is larger than the amount of money our nation has ever accumulated in the entirety of our 250-year-long history. That is just the most blatant and obvious lie that you could possibly tell, and you have to be mentally disabled in order to believe that.
Most part, they're going to be hiring American people. If they want to avoid tariffs, they're going to build in the United States. This is my concern.
So he's saying, listen to what he's saying. He's saying that he is allowing China to bring their ships all the way to fucking Texas and then construct Chinese factories on American soil, which, by the way, makes those factories Chinese soil. That's what he's literally giving up our sovereignty to allow China to build factories in the United States of America and most likely bring their own fucking workers, if not employing AI, or I guess deploying AI, because you don't need to fucking pay an AI. It doesn't make them an employee. But, he's quite literally selling out the entirety of the fucking Rust Belt. He's selling out all of our, working class red state Republican voters so that he can make a boon off of China. This is very predictable behavior for somebody like Donald.
China operating inside. Look, we have Japan is building massive Toyota, Honda, all of them. I mean, they're building massive plants all over the country. So if China...
You said that those plants would have, Japan training American workers on how to operate those plants, and then they would fucking leave. And now you're saying that, you're just going to allow... It's so fucking stupid. And I hope you understand, me as a leftist, I am totally okay with, having the best people in this nation, no matter where the fuck they're from, and then giving them citizenship and allowing them to build up businesses and to, participate in our economy and have children and become Americans. But you you have made it abundantly clear that that is the opposite of what you stand for. So again, to all the MAGA folks, I just want you to understand he is betraying you, but I fully support his betrayal of your dog shit values.
No one wants to build for their cars. Now, I will tell you, I put 100% tariff on Chinese cars because I didn't want them coming into the country. If you take a look, only because they swamp you. They'll destroy your auto industry, and that's what's happening in
We don't have an auto industry. There is literally no such thing as an American-made car that is made from American parts. I'm not joking about that. There is not a single vehicle that is manufactured in America that consists of solely American parts. It doesn't exist, okay? We ship all of our parts from overseas. This is because of men like you, Donald, Ronald Reagan, offshoring all of our manufacturing so that we can pay laborers like pennies on the fucking dollar.
And now they're saying we have to do a little bit like Donald Trump. Europe is being killed. They're being absolutely swamped by hundreds of thousands, millions of Chinese cars, and Mercedes and BMW and Volkswagen. They're getting killed. So if you notice, we haven't had that problem. You know why? Because I have 100% tariff on cars made in China.
And even though the Supreme Court ruling, you're going to still continue that tariff.
The ruling was just on a specific type of tariffs.
And you're going a different route.
Correct. I have the right to do the same tariff in, frankly, a little bit more complex way, but it's actually a better tariff. It's actually...
Again, blatantly disregarding the Supreme Court shutting down his illegal tariffs, and this is because this man is the Führer. He is not the president. He does not respect the Supreme Court. He does not respect Congress. He does not respect the Senate. He genuinely does not respect the Constitution. Please do not forget, Donald J. Trump actually advocated, he called for the termination of the United States Constitution in its entirety. This is irrefutable fact. He called for the termination of the entire United States Constitution.
It's a more stringent tariff.
I want to ask you about Iran and AI, but China made clear that Taiwan is very important to them. And after your first meeting here, President Xi's spokesman put out a statement to the media, through the media, saying this: the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. If it is handled properly, the bilateral relationship will enjoy overall stability. Otherwise, the two countries will have clashes and even conflicts, putting the entire relationship in great jeopardy. You were still inside the meeting when that came out. That sounded almost like a threat.
Yes. That is China saying we are going to reunify with Taiwan, and if America tries to stand in our way, we're going to war, and you know damn fucking well you can't win that war. This is why, as you're going to hear, Trump is going to just give up on Taiwan. We're not going to give them the $14 billion weapons package. We're not going to help them. We are literally just going to hand Taiwan over to the Chinese. Now, hopefully, this will be a form of peaceful reunification. And I do want you to understand that I believe that Taiwan, the Taiwanese people, should be allowed to become an independent nation. But, and this is a hard but, if the choice is between we hold Taiwan by going to war with China, and China peacefully reunifies with Taiwan and we don't go to war, I'm choosing that one. I refuse to advocate for a fucking war with China, okay? And I've been seeing a lot of fucking neo-libs who are literally brainwashed, who are like, no, we need to go to war with China. We need to go have a nuclear war in order to make sure that Taiwan remains our vassal state because we get 100% of our chips and semiconductors from Taiwan. Well, maybe we should have prepared for this moment. Maybe we should have brought that manufacturing back to the U.S. and be creating it here. But no, we have Republicans in charge, and they believe in offshoring all of our manufacturing. So now we got to pay the consequence for that.
Was it communicated that way behind closed doors? No, and no, it wasn't, not at all. But it has always been their most important issue. And it's not a takeover. They just don't want to see this place, we'll call it a place, because nobody knows how to define it. But they don't want it.
Brother got so dog-walked by Xi Jinping, he's not comfortable calling Taiwan a country. Do you understand how beta bitch that is? Trump doesn't even want to call Taiwan a country. Brother, this really is the American century of humiliation. I'm loving this shit.
See it go independent. They don't want to do it. And I think they probably would do something pretty harsh, and then they would be met harshly, and bad things will happen. So, no, it's not that. We talked, by the way, last night we talked the whole night about that issue. I think I know more about Taiwan right now than I know about almost any country that dominated.
Yeah, including ours.
Good talk. It's always been his most important thing from the day I knew him years ago. I've known him now 11 years, 12 years. It's always been the biggest thing for him, Taiwan. Now, With me, I don't think they'll do anything when I'm here. If I'm not here, I think they might, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure that they do anything if it remained as is. But they have somebody there now that wants to go independent. Well, it's a risky thing. When you go independent, they're going independent because they...
By the way, it's something like 80% of Taiwanese people, they don't want to be independent, but they also just don't want a change in their relationship with China. It's like, I don't know the official numbers, but it's something in the 80 percentile where it's like 80% of Taiwanese people want no change in their relationship with China.
I'm not gonna lie, ever since I switched to Mint, I've been walking around a little different. Had a little extra pep in my step. It's $15 a month. Premium wireless. Because Mint is so much cheaper than other services, it naturally makes you a skeptic. Like, okay, is it gonna be actually as good? Or I've been using it. It's hitting. It's doing what it needs to do. It's such a beautiful day. But you know what's even more beautiful? Saving money.
I have nothing to shoot.
No, not now. Yeah, dude, that doesn't look good. I know what to do.
What's that?
I'm going to cast it. Want to get into a war, and they figure they have the United States behind them. I'd like to see it stay the way it is. And I'll tell you something. I'll make a little news. I'd like to see everybody making chips over in Taiwan come into America, because to be honest with you, I think it's the greatest thing you can do. It's a heated situation. There's no question about it. And as you know, we have massive amounts of chip companies now from Taiwan already coming in.
No, we don't. No, we don't. You don't have a single fucking chip manufacturing facility in the United States.
40 to 50% of the world chip business by the end of my term. And I think it should be even more than that. I think all of those chip companies, if they're smart, they're going to start heading to Arizona and the places where they're building. That's going to solve your problem.
Should the people of Taiwan feel more or less secure after your meetings?
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
President Xi.
Neutral.
He might as well have just said, I don't give a fuck.
Policy changed at all?
No, nothing's changed. No, nothing's changed. I will say this. I'm not looking to have somebody go independent and, they're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that. I want them to cool down.
Did you hear what he just said? He said, I can't believe I'm saying this. I 100% agree with Donald Trump right now. I 100% agree with Donald Trump, and I'm not being facetious. I want you to listen to what he just said again.
People of Taiwan feel more or less secure after your meetings with President Xi?
Neutral.
Has the policy changed at all?
There is. Nothing's changed. No, nothing's changed. I will say this. I'm not looking to have somebody go independent and, we're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that.
He just said, I don't want us to travel 9,000 miles to fight a war with China over Taiwan. Listen, as much as I hate this pedophile motherfucker, yeah, I agree. Why the fuck should we go to war with China over Taiwan? That's fucking ludicrous.
I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down.
But you're waiting on approving billions of dollars of weapons for Taiwan.
That's right. I'm hopeful. Well, I haven't approved it yet, and we're going to see what happens.
What do you look?
I may do it, I may not do it.
Yeah, what's your hinge point?
Well, I'm not going to say that, but I may do it, I may not do it. But we're not looking to have wars, and if you kept it the way it is, I think China's going to be okay with that. But we're not.
Look at this, in limbo. U.S. weapons sale to Taiwan pending. Trump was supposed to sign a $14 billion weapons package to Taiwan, like American weapons designed to hold back the Chinese if they try to invade. He was supposed to sign that a while ago. He never fucking signed it. And he claimed that he didn't sign it because he wanted it as a bargaining chip with Xi Jinping and be like, oh, well, I couldn't, if I just, all they need is my signature and then $14 billion worth of weapons. But the thing is, he got big dicked. Xi Jinping slapped his massive Chinese hog on the fucking table, and Trump, most likely, I'm calling it, will not sign that weapons deal, okay? I guarantee it.
Looking to have somebody say, let's go independent because the United States is backing us,
So President Xi probably liked that you haven't approved the weapons to Taiwan.
Yeah.
I would say like is maybe too strong a word because he thinks I could do it with just the signing of my signature, unlike Biden who couldn't sign his signature. No, I'm holding that in abeyance, and it depends on China depends. It's a very good negotiating chip for us, frankly. It's a lot of weapons. It's $12 billion. It's a lot of weapons.
12 billion, not 14.
When you
Whatever.
look at the odds, China's a very, very powerful, big country. That's a very small island. It's, you think of it, it's 59 miles away. 59 miles. Now, we're 9,500 miles away. That's a little bit of a difficult problem. With all of that,
Bro, look at his fucking, like, physicality. Look at how unbelievably shrimp-spined he is, bro. He's such a fucking gross person. He's so deformed.
He said, you know, if you look at the history of Taiwan, Taiwan was developed because we had presidents that didn't know what the hell they were doing. Because if they would have put tariffs on chips coming in, they would have never left. Everything.
Brother, we fucking offshored all of our manufacturing to Taiwan and other fucking what part of the fucking world is that? Other fucking Asian countries. This is what we do. We get like people who are willing to work for 50 cents an hour to make our fucking chips and semiconductors.
It was about Intel, and everything was about our chip companies. They stole our chip industry.
They stole it? Brother, Ronald Reagan handed it to them.
So I've said that for
years. This was an integral part of trickle-down economics.
Years. I said, for years they stole our chip. If we would have had one of our presidents just say, we're going to put 100% chip. You can leave, you can build in Taiwan, but you sell it back into the United States. We're going to put 100% or 200% tariff. We would have never lost the chip. We lost the chip industry. It's all coming back. And I do say this. Taiwan would be very smart to cool it a little bit. China would be very...
What the fuck is Taiwan doing? What do you think, Taiwan is provoking China, you fucking idiots?
To cool it a little bit, they will both cool it.
On AI, was there any agreement?
You can tell that they cut a lot out of this interview. I can't wait till we can find like some sort of unedited 4-hour-long version of this interview where he's just rambling like a nutcase.
Any kind of guardrails that China and the U.S. might agree to so that AI doesn't go crazy.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it. AI is mostly a great thing.
No, it isn't.
Mostly.
AI is the worst invention humanity has ever created outside of religion. It's the second worst creation we've ever fucking made. We're trying to make God.
We're leading China. We talked about that. We're leading China by a lot.
We are not leading China by a lot when it comes to AI technology. They are running fucking laps around us. This motherfucker is such a pathological liar in his eyes, man. I mean, this motherfucker looks like a gecko. I still believe he's a reptilian shapeshifter from the Andromeda Galaxy, and he's a 14,000-year-old pedophile.
I gave the right for AI to build their own electric producing plants. That's a big deal. They can manufacture their own electricity now, which we could never have gotten when we did. And now you have these very rich companies headed by lots of geniuses building electric plants. Because of that, we are leading China by a lot in the AI race. Now, it's mostly the two of us. Other nations are in it, but mostly. And whoever wins the AI race, and we're going to win it. I mean, if we're smart, we're going to win. If we're not smart, we're not. But we're leading by a lot. We talked about that last night. President Xi was very surprised at how well we've done with AI, because they thought when it started, they took this.
No, he was surprised by how you think we're doing well with AI technology. He was definitely surprised by your bravado, being like, oh, we're leading you with AI. And he's like, oh, are you? This is like when a fucking dumbass kid comes up and goes, look at my drawing, and it's just fucking shit. And you're gonna be like, oh, and is that the house? And what is that, the doggy? That's amazing. You're such a good little artist.
Gigantically. And we now, of course, we are substantially ahead of them in AI. But you think there'll be some set up guardrails or something? I think there could be. We talked about it. But, at the same time, we're competing.
I did see the Netanyahu 60 Minutes interview, and I tried to cover it on YouTube, and my channel was, not my channel, but the videos were completely demonetized. Like, CBS, Larry Ellison, fucking, what the fuck is her name? Barry Weiss, that Zionist piglet. they refuse to allow people to watch it and give their opinion on it. So one of these days, I mean, maybe I should watch it and just let it not be monetized, just do it for the gang type shit. You know how it is.
So it's a little hard to say, oh, gee, let's, we're competing with each other and let's put guardrails. It really doesn't work that way too much. But AI, if you look at medicine, some of the things that are coming up with medicine, some of the cures they're coming up with that people would have never gotten to.
Who the fuck is taking medicine that was created by an AI? Who the fuck? What do you got slaves or some shit? Who the fuck is volunteering for that job? That's temp V, bro. That's fucking temp V. Shut up the bullets.
It's going to be mostly a good thing, but we want to have some guardrails.
You said that President Xi said he would offer assistance on Iran.
No, he didn't.
I also said we don't need it.
You didn't ask for it. You said he was offering it, specifically to open the Strait of Hormuz. What do you think he will do?
I think he's been very nice about it.
China just donated $2 and said, did you see Truth Social? No, but I have a button on my fucking Stream Deck that brings me to his latest post. What? It's just a whole bunch of stupid bullshit. None of it matters.
He gets 40% of his oil. He didn't send anybody. He didn't send ships. He didn't send ships with big fat things on it. But we would have had to repel. We would have. The good thing is that I built, during my first 4 years, the most powerful military in the world. We were the most powerful military in the world. That was shown in Venezuela, which took 1 day. Actually, it took 48 hours. It took, let's see, about 48 minutes. I think it was 48 minutes and 15 seconds. And it was over. And it's a strong country with a strong military, but it went very quickly. And now, by the way,
Venezuela was not a strong country with a strong military, brother. This is the equivalent of like a high school senior beating up a first grader. This is not a flex.
We have made a fortune with their oil. And so they've made more money in the last 8 months than they've made in the last 10 years.
No, we have made that money because we now own Venezuela and all of their oil manufacturing facilities. So we know why you did this. I was saying this before Operation Epstein's Fury began. This is on video. I have proof of this. I said over and over and over again. The reason why we are invading Venezuela is because they have the largest oil deposits on planet Earth outside of the Middle East, right? And we also knew that we were going to wage a war in Iran that would probably end up rendering the oil flow through the Strait of Hormuz relatively obsolete. That's why we are gathering the fucking oil in Venezuela. It's like a piggy bank type shit.
And we're participating in the process.
Venezuela. But obviously, Iran is
it's a different kind of thing. But we're doing probably almost as well. I don't know how you can do better.
We're doing almost as well, brother. We're approaching day 90. And you won it in Venezuela in 48 minutes, and you're saying it's the same thing? Watch, he's also about to just lie through his fucking teeth. I'm just gonna fucking say the word lie every time he lies about what he's done to Iran. Here we go.
They have no Air Force. It's all wrong. Their Air Force is destroyed.
Wrong. They're talking a big game. They're going to get important in the streets of the street. They're going to be open to commercial shipping only if they cooperate with the Iranians.
They're not talking a big game. You know what's talking a big game? The fake news media. If you look at the New York Times, you would think that we're losing militarily.
We are. And you said on a fucking plane that if you say we're losing militarily, that is treason. You are at the point now, mein Führer, where you are saying if you criticize me in any way, shape, or form, you're committing treason and you will be sent to one of the 35 concentration camps that we have erected across this dog shit husk of a nation.
They have 159 ships. Every one is now on the bottom of the sea. Every one of them is gone. And they had mine droppers. They call them $10. It's a nice thing. Who has 22 mine droppers? The mine droppers, you know them.
That's not true at all, dog.
What they call fast boats. They are runabouts, like you buy for your fantastic son. If you wanted to buy him a nice boat, then they put a machine gun on it, okay? Most of them are knocked out. You knock them out just like...
Please explain to me why one of our U.S. warships was hit by 2 Iranian missiles fired from a missile silo. Please explain why the Iranian Shahed drones continue to pelt all of our GCC vassal states. Please explain this shit.
They knock out the drug dealers.
You like to talk about cards. It seems like they're playing with bad deck to use no deck, but they're still playing.
You know, the only thing they have going is a fake press. You know how well we're doing now.
So the fake press. So you're saying that American journalists are the reason why the Strait of Hormuz is closed? This is the stupidest shit ever, and I implore you to deploy this tactic anytime you're debating with a Republican. Let them spew their shit, and then just go, so why is the Strait of Hormuz not open? Because they can't answer it. If you're claiming we defeated them militarily and it's just the press that is claiming that we haven't, then why isn't the Strait open? It's a lose-lose situation. There's only two options. Option A, the Strait is closed because the Iranian military dictates it is closed. Option B, the Strait is closed because the American military is dictating it's closed. So what you're claiming that you are making us suffer. That's what you're claiming.
The way you see an idea in your mind, the way you describe it to a friend. This is how website creation should be. Expression as natural as thinking. Let it out. Shape it into something that could only come from you. This is a new way to create. Wake's Harmony.
And then, at the request of a very nice group of people from Pakistan, we're very close to Iran. I didn't go to Arnold. They said, could you stop? We're going to make a deal. And we really had the confines of the deal. No nuclear, they're going to give us the best.
That's not true at all. No part of that negotiated included anything nuclear. The Iranians made it abundantly clear we're not talking about that. But also, the reason why you abandoned your ceasefire plan is because you did not get permission from Benjamin Netanyahu to end this war. I've said this so many times in great detail. I'm going to say it again, but really fucking quickly. The Israelis refuse to end this war until Iran becomes a failed state. There is a big difference between a failed state and regime change. We have done regime change before. We did this in fucking Libya. We do regime change. This is not regime change. The Israelis want Iran to turn into open slave markets with people killing each other in the fucking streets and no semblance of a government, because the nation of Iran, which is 93 million strong, has the IRGC, missile silos, drone manufacturing, nuclear enrichment. They are the only people in the Middle East who can stand up to the Israeli dog people and their attempt to create a greater Israel, okay? They're the only ones. So you do not have permission. That is why the war will not end.
Everything. And every time they make a deal, the next day it's like, we're going to have that conversation.
That's you! You do this! You go, yeah, we're going to make a deal. And then the next day you go, tonight an entire civilization will be annihilated, never to return.
And that's taking place about 5 times. There's something wrong with them. Actually, they're crazy. And you know what? Because of that, they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Because the President of China agrees with you on that. And he agrees with me on that. He agrees with me that he wants to see an end. He'd like to see an end. He would like to help, and he wants to help that quick. But we don't need help. And you know,
yeah, we really don't need help.
When somebody helps you, they always want something on the other side. That's the way help works. Hard to believe, but it was 1 year ago today. You interviewed you, and I asked you about we'll get to a solution there. Oh, we'll get 100%. You think so? Well, we're going to have a solution one way or the other. It's either going to be violent or not violent. And I thought it's going to be non-violent. Obviously, by the way, like the perfect answer, you explain why you did what you did. Because of the nuclear threat to Iran. But no, it's obviously not Venezuela. It's well, etc. But you did say it was going to be fairly quick. Venezuela was sending drugs in at a level that was terrible.
Again, that's not true whatsoever, brother. That's not true at all. The primary way that drugs get into the illicit drugs get into the United States of America is through regular ports of entry, right? And at the southern border. And 85% of all illegal drugs smuggled into the United States of America are smuggled in by American citizens, because we get less scrutiny when we cross the border. We can cross into Mexico and back. We have American passports. We get less scrutiny. So Americans, they will travel over to Mexico. They'll make deals with the cartel, usually by handing the cartel American weapons, bro. We have all these fucking guns. We go down there, we give them weapons, they give us drugs, and then an American loads up the fucking car. You know, you see it in the movies. They remove the plates, they go underneath the wheels, and load up the car with drugs, and then that American brings it back over the fucking southern border. It is not coming from fucking ships from Venezuela who would have to travel like 2,000 miles on a fucking rowboat to get that shit to the East Coast or to fucking Florida. This is stupidest shit ever.
And they did something that was a terrible, mortal sin. they emptied their prisons into our country.
Oh my God! Again, not true. Not true.
That was different. This one is, I guess you could say, worse. That was pretty bad. You don't get much worse. Emptying your prisons, drug dealers, murderers into our country, that's pretty bad. But you could say this is worse. In this one, they are coming to make a nuclear weapon. I stopped it twice. They would have had it 2 years ago. They would have used it already on Israel and the rest of the Middle East. Look at all the missiles shot at people that didn't think they were even involved. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE.
No, not allowing you to do that, Donald. No. Iran is not bombing Qatar and Kuwait and the UAE. They are bombing American bases in Qatar and Kuwait and the UAE, which are considered American soil to the point where you could be born on one of those bases in Kuwait, and that is still considered being born in U.S. soil, and you can still run for president, dog. And again, why the fuck would... This is the double-edged sword of having bases across the entire fucking planet in every country. It's like, yes, you have a foothold anywhere on the planet when you need it, but also your enemies and adversaries can bomb America no matter where they are. Because they don't need to bomb the U.S. mainland. If this fucking Al Udeid air base in Saudi Arabia is considered American soil, then just bomb that, you stupid fuck.
Bahrain, Kuwait, they got all shot at. Nobody's ever been involved in this thing. They would have used the nuclear weapon in the Middle East. One thing I'm going to do right now, they said, specifically, because I deal with them, they said, we're taking the nuclear test. They said, you can have it.
Bullshit.
I said, we're going to go get it. We're not going to let you take it. They said, we can't take it. We don't have the capability to take it. They said, because it was hit so hard. I mean, the mountain literally collapsed on it, the granite mountain. Why isn't that just enough? Well, I mean, if your goal is to set that, it is good enough, but you know what? It's not good enough public relations-wise. It's important. It's important. It's probably good enough for a different reason, though. Like Space Force, which
brother just said that it's important for us to do a full-scale ground invasion of Iran and make our way up the mountains into Natanz and Isfahan to confiscate their nuclear material for PR reasons. Dude, that's a suicide mission. You're saying you want to send in the Marines on a suicide mission for PR? Get the fuck out of here. Yo, I don't understand how Republicans even exist. I don't understand how this motherfucker has any goddamn support. Like, why am I even doing this? Why am I even doing this? If this motherfucker can come out and say, yeah, we want to do a full-scale boots-on-the-ground invasion of Iran and sacrifice tens of thousands of American goyim because it's good for PR. Are you kidding me?
It's got cameras, 9 different cameras in space on that side. We know anybody that was there. We can read the name of a person. We can read if his name is Mohammed something, and most of them are Mohammed, you can guess about 50% right. You can read his name.
Is that racist? Yes. Is it true? Also, yes, bro. The #1 most popular name on planet Earth is Muhammad. I don't even blame him for that one.
From space, it's the most amazing thing. Anybody that goes near that space, we have a tag. They haven't done anything there. And if they did, we would hit them very hard. So, 2 days ago, speaking to the Iranians, they told me it was hit so hard. They actually said, that there's only 2 countries that could get it, us and China. Right. They said us and China.
Brother, if China goes in and takes the enriched uranium, oh my God, that would be such a sign of fucking weakness. And also, what a pause by me. What a pause by me, if I could say so myself.
They don't have the capability of getting it because it was so obliterated. The term I used is obliterated. The fake news said, oh, maybe somebody could get it. They actually said if they wanted to get it, they couldn't. So, that's not good enough for me. I want to get it.
So why are we where we are? Did you underestimate the pain tolerance that Iran has?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Him and his entire Department of Defense, or as the toothless hicks call it, the Department of War, they did absolutely zero research into like Shia Muslim beliefs, Ralph, or into like the loyalty of the IRGC or or like what martyrdom is and how important that is to Iran. Sorry. Like he and his people have done no fucking research, and this is because of, like American exceptionalism and white supremacy. They don't understand that there's a difference between Sunni and Shia Muslims. They don't understand the importance of martyrdom. They don't understand the impact of assassinating an Ayatollah. Guys, this is like the equivalent of assassinating the Pope. You understand that? This is like the Islamic Pope that we fucking assassinated.
Being underestimated, and you hit them unbelievably hard.
This is Buick. Buick, exceptional by design. Get 0.9% APR. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get up to $2,250 purchase allowance on Encore GX.
We all want more progress, more gains. But what we're really chasing is more life. Add more life to your years. Whoop, the official fitness wearable of the PGA Tour.
We left their bridges.
You destroyed one of their bridges, bro.
Electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days.
All of that is a work on the civilian infrastructure. Granted, I know you don't give a fuck about work ons.
2 days, everything. We left Carlisle, and other than, I said, hit it, except for the valves where the oil comes in. Because when you hit that, nothing's going to oil.
Yeah, all you care about is oil and profit. We understand.
But one thing is happening, amazingly. Ships are floating up to Texas and Louisiana, and they're going to Alaska.
Real quick, Chatter says, what are the 35 concentration camps built in our country? The Department of Homeland Security has transformed 35 ginormous warehouses across the country into concentration camps, where they are housing the people that the ICE Gestapo thugs are detaining illegally. By the way, we have recently found out that 90% of all detainees that ICE has taken were illegally detained. But yes, that's where they're sending them, concentration camps, or they are mass tortured, or they are deporting them to the concentration camp in El Salvador called CICOT, where they are mass raped.
And they're loading up with oil like we've never seen before.
Americans want to know when it's over, right?
Look, Vietnam lasted 19 years.
Oh my God.
Iraq was like 10 years. Korea was 7 years. Another one was 14 years. Another one was 12 years. Another one was 9 years. We're in this. The other thing they talk about, so we lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers in Vietnam. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers in practically every. I lost. And I wish we'd lost none, because I know those things. I spoke to them. There's 13 soldiers.
Oh shit, we lost far more than 13. The United States government is lying.
In 2 wars.
China got 3 tankers out this week.
Wow, they really cut the rest of his answer. I guarantee you we gave you a dog shit answer. It was like, so those wars lasted 19 years out of what? I can't. 3 years? You can't give me 3 years. Let me fight for 3 years. What's the problem? I guarantee you he gave such a horrifying fucking answer that they had to cut that shit.
With Ryan on.
Thanks, Katie Mullins.
Before this trip. Gas prices in America.
Wow, I actually can't believe Fox did this. I actually can't believe Fox would put this up. Good for you. You're actually like, you're holding his toes to the fire a little bit? Holy shit.
Painfully high. It's not like a rock that's one of those. It's painfully higher now. And could be lower than lower than Biden.
Oh, you mean during a global pandemic?
Much lower than people thought. This inflation number is going up. You're right, it's much lower than President Biden's was, but it's going up under you. The numbers are. You can imagine Democrats and political pundits jumped all over this statement that you made the other day.
No, when he says the people get it, he actually means the opposite. He means the overwhelming majority of my supporters are like brain-dead, window-licking troglodytes, and those graphs mean nothing to them. They don't know what a CPI is. They don't care.
You were asked on the when you were leaving.
And he's right about that.
The only thing that matters without talking about Iran, they can't have the.
I can't believe Fox News would fucking do this. Holy shit, what are they turning on him?
Think about Americans and I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. You cannot let Iran
nuclear weapon. That's all.
That's a perfect statement. I'll make it again.
That's a perfect statement, and I'll make it again. Motherfucker, just double down on, I don't give a fuck about Americans. I don't give a fuck about their financial situation. I don't even think about it a little bit, bro. I don't even give a damn. That's a perfect fucking statement. I'll stand 10 toes down on that shit. Brother, Democrats, he's handing you the ball. Shoot a three! Oh my God!
Imagine how many people stop the soundbite and I don't think about it.
You don't even need to stop the soundbite. You can let the whole fucking clip play and it's still going shit.
It's like the situation. So what's your response to that, Frank?
Very simple. When people hear me say it, everybody agrees. Short-term pain. It's going to be short-term pain. But the pain is much less than people thought. Because people thought that the oil would go up to $250. You know, it's $99 yesterday, $99 a barrel. I thought it might go up to $200.
Oh, great. Yeah, no, this is like when you open your wallet and you only got $5 and you go, shit, I thought I'd only have $2. You're still broke, bitch. You're still broke. What sort of flex is this?
Not that I wanted it, but you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. They will use it on us. They'll start off with Israel, wipe it out. The Middle East, wipe it out. It'll go to Europe. You know, they have a missile that goes to Europe. You saw that, okay? They have a missile that goes to Europe. I have done Europe a very big favor. When you tell somebody you're going to have to pay a little more for gas. I mean,
you hear that? You hear that? When you're at the gas pump, I want you to remember Donald Trump saying, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. Not much more, but you're going to have to pay a little bit more because we've got to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon. If I'm being honest, first of all, none of this is about Iran having a nuclear weapon. But let's just say, hypothetically, that the choices for me are low gas prices or a nuclear Iran. 1,000 times out of 100, I'm choosing a nuclear Iran. I actually have said this before. I already support a nuclear Iran, not because I like nuclear weapons. I'm a fucking UN delegate for denuclearization. But in this world, the only deterrent from Western aggression are nuclear weapons. As we've talked about, we don't bomb North Korea, they got nukes. We don't bomb Russia, they got nukes. We don't bomb China, they got nukes. We don't bomb France, they got nukes. We don't bomb the UK, they got nukes. Once you get a nuke, America stops attacking you.
Very short period of time. Because we want to stop the threat of being blown to pieces by a lunatic, by a crazy person, and they are crazy, using nuclear weapons. Everybody says that's fine. And that question was a fake question, and they didn't put my full answer. I totally care. Look, I inherited...
They didn't put my full answer. Bitch, you were on live TV.
Yes. They came in with the affordability. My first press conference, 2 days in.
You were the one spamming the affordability button on the campaign. Affordability, affordability, affordability. And then immediately you claim that affordability is a Democrat hoax. That's an official statement from the President of the United States. The word affordability is a Democrat hoax. He literally said that.
And Biden did the press conferences. He'd go for years without them because he was incapable of doing it. He was an incompetent person. But my first question was about eggs. Eggs have quadrupled. What are you going to do? I said, eggs, tell me about eggs. Tell me about the problem. Eggs have gone up 4 times. I said, I'll take care of it. By the way, I did take care of it, but they came up with a word. As they are good,
they came up with a word? I'm going to lose my fucking mind. You're claiming that after you won the election in the year 2024, that the Democrat Party conjured up the word affordability. Again, Republicans, grow a fucking spine and abandon this pedophile troglodyte. Holy shit.
They're horrible politicians. In many cases, we have a new name. They're Democrats. I call them Democrats.
Lightning McQueen is fading! Lightning McQueen, he's fading! Brother, you used to come up with great fucking names like Crooked Hillary, and now the Democrats? Oh my God.
A lot of low IQ people get Ilhan Omar saying World War XI. She said, she was referring to World War II. She said, World War XI, these people are destroying our country. That's the stuff. You know, President Xi said something yesterday. He talked about, and he wasn't referring to the last 15 months.
Yes, he was. He's about to bring up the fact that Xi Jinping said to Donald Trump's face, America is a declining empire, and Donald is so fucking stupid that he didn't understand what that meant. He went, yeah, I agree. And then one of his aides explained to him what Xi Jinping meant by that, and Trump went on Truth Social, was like, he wasn't talking about me, he was talking about Obama and Biden. He was saying that we were in a declining then, but now we're not.
Cut through the clutter and tap into new audiences you won't find on other platforms. They aren't tapped out. They're ready on Reddit, the #1 platform people use to make informed purchase decisions. Reach them today with Reddit ads.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Starting a business is never easy, but with GoDaddy Arrow, that endeavor is about to become a whole lot easier.
You talk about America's a nation in decline.
We are.
I said you're right.
Clip it and ship it, Democrats. He's handing you fucking layups.
But he wasn't talking about because he said what you've done in 14, 15 months is a miracle.
When you hear Trump voters, Alex says, I voted for you 3 times. He just, the costs. And he's not for this foreign conflict. He's not for the foreign conflict, but you are in Pennsylvania.
He said he hates hearing what his own supporters have to say.
Retired farmer. He can't handle the fuel going on. He said, it's going back very fast. But I'm just talking about yourself to him. Really. And we got a problem. We just hit the highest stock market price ever. By the way,
oh my God, he thinks that every American is part of the stock market, brother. You're talking to like red state voters who make $40,000 a year and live in a fucking trailer park. They do not have stock portfolios. You fucking disconnected billionaire suit.
Yeah. When I went in. Now it's higher than a number. At the all-time high. There are more people working right now in the United States of America than at any point ever in the history of our country.
But unemployment is skyrocketing. We have more people in this nation than we did 30 years ago. That's why there's more people employed. But the unemployment percentage is higher, dog. Just because we made fucking 50 million more people and those people are employed doesn't affect the percentages, you dumbass.
So mistaken. While champagne flowed on the trading floor and President Donald Trump celebrated record highs, pessimism spread like wildfire outside Wall Street stores, straight into the kitchens of average American families.
Fucking yes! This is a Trump voter. I'm surprised he even have the fucking IQ to say something like this. But yes, while champagne is flowing on the trading floor, everyone else in the kitchens of average American families are fucking suffering. This is what I say about him. Like, we're building the ballroom. Look at the reflecting pool. We're building a new golf course. Look at my Trump statue. Look at the new arch. Average Americans are never going to even see this stuff, bro. They're never even going to travel to Washington, D.C. They're never going to be in that ballroom. They're never going to see the Lincoln Memorial. Like, none of this shit fucking matters. These are vanity projects for a malignant narcissist pedophile.
There is this sense that something is changing. Whether they can hold on and believe that you're going to get them too.
No, you better have to do what's right. Something like this. We just hit 50,000 on the Dow. That wasn't supposed to happen for 5 or 6 years. I did it my first year. We just hit 7,000 in the S&P. That wasn't supposed. That was even less of a chance in Bitcoin today. We just announced 401ks are at their all-time highest that they've ever been. All these things happen, and I said, I'm sorry to do this to you, but we have to stop this. They're very crazy people. Now those people are gone. They've been eliminated. The second group has been eliminated, and some of the third group, in a way, we've eliminated so many leaders that it's almost, I'm trying to figure out who the hell are we dealing with. I don't read it.
Brother, that's not a flex. You're saying the American intelligence committees, the American intelligence system doesn't even know who's in charge of Iran? And you expect us to have faith in the fact that you can come to the negotiating table when you're saying out loud you don't even know who's in charge because you and Israel fucking killed everybody?
But Well, you're dealing with people that I think are right. Think they're afraid to make a deal. They don't know how to make a deal. They've never been put in this position before.
You're going to hold out until they do.
Well, I'm going to do what's right. I have to do what's right.
But the straight should be on, right?
It should be able to look. See, to stop the straight is very easy. All I have to do is say, move up their mind in the straight someplace. You know, see little, so that, if that's okay. The straight will be open. They will not have a nuclear weapon. And the world will go on. And you will see gasoline prices drop. Energy prices.
He always talks about what you will see. You will see. We will do this in 2 weeks, in 4 weeks. It will happen. He can never talk about good things that are happening right now because he has never done a single fucking thing that is good for the working class or the average American. Not one fucking policy has benefited the working class.
Well, like, no, but don't forget, they have a lot of boats that have loaded up with oil that are going to bring the oil as soon as this is over. And I think it's going to finish. They've been holding up the world for many, many years with the Strait. You know, they've used this many, many times. They said, we'll close the Strait. They close it.
They have never once in the history of humanity closed down the Strait of Hormuz. What the fuck?
In the past. They use it as a weapon. They're not using it as a weapon with me.
Oh, really?
And when they did, and actually what President Xi said last night, sort of smiling about it, he said, well, they close the Strait and then you close them.
But you think they're going to capitulate sometimes?
You know, okay. I have no doubt.
Mr. President, stand by if you would. Special report from Beijing with the President of the United States continues after this. Welcome back to Beijing and our conversation with the President of the United States. Mr. President, you pushed redistricting, and after some really big wins in courts, including the Supreme Court, contested districts are now tilting to Republicans. It looks like they've picked up a number of seats. A lot, at least on paper.
Yeah, you're rigging the election and you're taking away black and brown people's representation. This is like, we all know this.
Do you think that that makes the difference in holding the House?
Well, it helps. I mean, I don't know the difference.
Yeah, of course it helps. You have to cheat in order to win. We know who you are.
So I think a bigger difference would be is if I win quickly as opposed to after. But again, I'm not going to let the election determine what's going to happen with respect to Iran because they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Okay. But a bigger difference would be if that price went down. Look, prices are down, but the energy caused it to go up. And I said to many people, I hate to do
this. You just said prices are down, but prices are up. You said prices are down, but energy is causing prices to go up.
What the fuck? I'm going to screw up your numbers for a little while because we have to stop the nuclear weapon stuff with Iran because they're nuts. They're sick people. Even if they weren't sick, you wouldn't want it to happen, but they're crazy. We're going to take a little curve. We're going to diverge down the pike, and we're going to hit them, and we're going to stop them. And essentially, we have really put them on hold.
He wants some milk.
I asked him, look, I agree. The oil goes up, but it's going to come down lower than it was. It'll be down lower than it was. Now, speed. I hate to talk about speed.
I understand.
Because I don't like putting pressure on all of the things. I want to do the job right. If it takes an extra 4 weeks, but think of it. We're in Vietnam for 19 years. I mean, I'm doing this for 2.5 months.
There are people on one side that say, well, let's go again. Let's finish the job. Let's keep going. There's the people on the other side say, let's get out. And all good people. November is coming. The approval's upside down. You're not on the ballot, but do you think
holy shit, they actually put up his dog shit polling numbers? I never thought they would do that.
But think of it. We're in Vietnam for 19 years. I mean, I'm doing this for 2.5 months.
There are people on one side that say, well, let's go again. Let's finish the job. Let's keep going. There's the people on the other side say, let's get out. And all good people. November is coming. The approval's upside down. You're not on the ballot, but do you think that this war and this moment is going to affect your ability to hold the House and Senate?
So yesterday, they had 18 elections. I won all 18. Everybody I endorsed won. 2 weeks ago, at a very big event, Indiana had like 8 people that had never lost an election, somewhere in the 25 years. They had a 40-point lead, but they didn't want to do. They didn't want to give some additional people in Congress. Very simple, redistrict. And I said, you know what? If they don't want to redistrict, they're not for us. And I ran candidates.
So you're saying that redistricting is allowed for Republicans, but it is not allowed for Democrats. This is literally the death of democracy in front of your own very fucking eyes. They're saying if you vote blue, your vote doesn't count. If you vote red, your vote counts.
Nobody ever heard it, but 3 people. And everyone won, other than one, because 2 or 3 people ran. Actually, it was very small. But I won every one of them. CNN did a poll recently that said I'm 100% approval in the Republican Party with MAGA, which is most of the Republican Party. So I think it's almost all of them, actually. I'm at 100%. And Harry, whatever his name is, nice guy, Harry Ender, was jumping up and down.
Again, this isn't a flex. This is you confidently showing everybody that you are actually a cult leader, that you have a base of support, that you could say, we're going to bomb Iran, and they go, yeah! And you go, we're not going to bomb Iran. They go, yeah! Like, it doesn't matter what you say. They support you because they're cultists, and you're a cult leader. This isn't a flex.
I don't know. I can't tell you because a couple of factors. They got to pass the Save American Act. I don't think that's important because the Democrats cheat. This will keep them from cheating. It'll make it much harder.
Every accusation is a confession. Yes, it's going to make it much harder for people to vote. You're right.
Without cheating, they can't win. So they have things like open borders where criminals can forage your country. Men playing in public sports so ridiculous. These are 98% issues. You know, the fake news says, oh, these are 80-20. They're not 80-20. Transgender mutilization of your child.
Again, I know that I keep hammering down on this, but like he has only ever said the word utilization. That's not the word. First of all, they're not mutilating these children. You can't get surgery like that until you are an adult, okay, even with parental permission. But second of all, the word is mutilation, not utilization, you stupid fuck.
That's what they support. So, one negative, and nobody can explain it, every president, Republican and Democrat, who wins the election, even if you win by a lot, I wouldn't know, landslide, win every swing state. Even if you win a lot, and even if you do a good job, and everyone says, look, we have the best, we have the highest stock market price ever, all of the things that I went over before, we have the best employment in the silver country. But even if you have a good president, doing a good job, they always lose the midterm.
That's not true. You said Cuba is hurting and ready to make a deal. The CIA director was there Thursday. China's been active there. They've had a deal with Cuba about renewed energy, a renewable energy project. They've built 92 solar farms.
Well, they're not there anymore.
So, yes, they are. Cuba going to turn to us and make a deal?
Look, I've been living in Cuba since I'm a little boy. Well, what's going on with Cuba? And I think we'll be turning it. Marco's been very effective. And the whole group has been very effective. It's, I think we're going to have to come to it. It's a failed nation. It's a totally failed nation.
Oh, I wonder why. Does that have anything to do with the fact that you have blockaded any sort of oil coming into the nation and now they have babies starving to death? Is that why they're a fucking failed nation? Because the CIA and Western imperialist forces have been raping Cuba for the past 60 fucking years?
They won't take it. They need help. They need help. I think about all those Cubans, 94% voted for me. The ones that were thrown out, families were killed.
They weren't thrown out. The fucking dude, the Cuban diaspora are people who were tremendously wealthy landowners who knew that their wealth was going to be reallocated to the overwhelming majority of the people. So they packed their shit and they fled like cowards to desperately cling on to their money. And they went to the one fucking place that'll absolutely accept them and their wealth, America.
And they're living in our country right now. And I have never seen people happier than that. They said, this is what we voted for. I think about those people. Maybe I think about them first. But I think about the people in Cuba. And, you know, the people living here, they want to go back and they want to invest in Cuba. They want to bring Cuba back, et cetera, et cetera. It's a good thing. We're going to give them that option.
Let me end with this. Back here in China, any talk about human rights? There was some hope.
You think Donald Trump gives a fuck about human rights?
Get Jimmy Lai on the plane.
Jimmy Lai, the fucking, what is that, like a Catholic priest or some shit who was, what the fuck?
I talked about it at length. I talked about Jimmy Lai, and I talked.
Jimmy Lai, I believe, is like a Chinese Catholic or some shit that is in a Chinese prison. I don't even know why. I don't give a fuck. But it's some Chinese dude in a Chinese prison, and like the Republicans have been begging for him to be released because he's a Catholic. What, did you try and ask for him to come home? Or not even home, just be released?
The other people, like the pastors, the religious all about the pastor. How was it? You know, I think the people out of different situations. Pastor Brunson was a big deal. You remember Pastor Brunson? He was in 35-year term. I got him out. I called President Erdogan. I got him out. I've gotten hundreds of people out. These pastors. And by the way, I don't pay a lot of money. I don't pay any money like Biden would. They give $6 billion all the time to get people out. I brought him up yesterday. How's everything? It's under consideration. I would say that I brought up Jimmy Lai, and I would say the response to that was not positive. He said that he's been...
Bro, I've never heard him admit the truth like that.
That he's been sort of his worst night. He was in opposition. He went through the whole thing. And I said, well, I appreciate it. He listened. He's that home, and he's probably not feeling too well. So I did not feel optimistic. I have to be honest with you about that one.
You got big dick, son. You got big dick, son. You said, "Could we get Jimmy Lai?" And Gene goes, "Absolutely not." Okay. I'm sorry for bringing him up. Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck! Like, this is why I said, like, he acts like an animal. You need to treat him like a fucking animal. He got big dick by the alpha dog, which is Xi Jinping.
Okay. I did feel optimistic about the second one. That's now under consideration. Yes. Very optimistic, actually. Yeah. And I put him down. I made a point of it. I mentioned Jimmy Lai again, second time. And I'd like to tell you that I'll be flying them back on Air Force One, but I won't be doing that. And the other one, I think, will maybe get very strong consideration.
But as you do fly back on Air Force One, you feel like this was a success.
Fantastic success.
You literally got nothing. The first question you were asked were, what concessions did you get from China? And you said, nothing, but I do have a good relationship with Xi Jinping.
Look, if we work with countries like the G2, because nobody comes to us. We are more powerful than China. No, we're not heading in the wrong direction. We are going to be a failed nation.
We are a failed nation.
Welfare, nobody was investing in it. We have $15 billion coming in.
No, we don't.
I was congratulated by President Xi Jinping. He said I've never said anything. I like him, he likes me. That's a good thing. You have two very powerful nuclear nations. And having good relations at the top is very important. We've known each other for 11 years now. We've been dealing with each other for a long time.
And you'll have him at the White House in September.
He's going to be coming in September or November. Sometime, but I think they've set a date, September 24th, something like that. And it'll be an honor. We're going to do a fantastic job, just like they did here. People that study this said there has never been a celebration like they had over the last 2 years in China with a foreign leader coming in. There's never been anything like that.
What is the... Hey, listen, guys, Donald Trump is coming. What is Donald Trump like? Kids? Yeah. Fucking genius. Get a whole bunch of children and have them like dancing and shit, waving flags. That'll probably get him geeked up, He loves kids. He fucks them. He loves kids so much he rapes them.
From the children to the military, a beautiful group of military always. But there's never been. And last night's event was incredible, actually.
Mr. President, we appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dude, they also cut out the part where he said that, like, Xi Jinping is so handsome. Because he literally did say that. Hi, Luigi. Would you like to come up and say hello to everybody? Hi, Luigi. She's been sitting at my legs this entire time. Little Luigi. Everybody say hello to little Mrs. Luigi. Hello. All right, so I'm going to put you down now, Mama Girl. I'm sorry. Oh, Trump got big dicked. Looks like we're going to hand Taiwan to China. We got zero concessions from China. Like, literally, we got nothing. This is probably the worst, international meeting in American history. This is the end of the American Empire. That's what this is. This marked the end of the American Empire. It's over. It's over. And I'm happy about that. I'm not even fucking kidding. I hope this country fucking collapses. We deserve nothing but the fucking worst. Not us, the people, but the nation in and of itself, like the entity of the United States of America. This is all deserved. Anyway, that's all I got for you. If you're live, you say we have to make a thumbnail for this video. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, that's a long video. Thanks for staying the entire time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. And do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger. And I know banger.
Welcome, one and all to the Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. You know, folks, I want you to know that things may look dark now, but it's important to remember that soon they will be different. You know what they say, it's always darkest before the different. One thing that's not different is the war in Iran. That is very the same. Case in point, just last week, Trump sent Iran a one-page memo outlining his peace plan. And is this true? I'm being told we have obtained a copy of Trump's plan. Will you go to peace with me? Yes, no. He also sent him one of these. One of those. Pick that up. Over the weekend, Iran countered Trump's proposal by demanding, among other things, war reparations by the U.S., full Iranian sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, an end to sanctions, and the release of seized Iranian assets. Obviously, Trump has to reject that. He can't give them more than they had before we bombed them. Hey, buddy, you talking to my girl? You want to take this outside so I can give you her number to list of her favorite restaurants? Oh, she's going to say she doesn't want fries, but then she's going to steal some of yours and it's super cute. As for the future of their nuclear program, Iran said it was willing to suspend enrichment of uranium, but for a shorter period than the 20-year moratorium proposed by the U.S. And 20 years isn't even that long. I mean, Anne Hathaway looks exactly the same. And if anything, Meryl Streep, Stanley Tucci, and Emily Blunt are more radiant than ever. Today, Trump was asked why he rejected Iran's counterproposal, and he said few words, but so many times.
It was just out of check. You know, a lot of people said, well, does he have a plan? Yep, they said, I have the best plan ever. But I have a plan, you know, and it's a very simple plan. I don't know why you don't say it like it is. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple plan. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. But very simply, when they say, does he have a plan? I have a plan. Plan is very simple. That's a great plan. But the plan is they cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Yes. He has such a simple plan that the only thing simpler than the plan is the man who has it. You should. Don't know what we're doing. No, thank you very much. Sometimes you should check out his recipe for beef Wellington. Step 1, have a recipe. Step 2, it's a very simple recipe. Step 3, it's the best recipe ever. Step 4, make beef Wellington. Yesterday, it's just Monday. Today is just Monday. Yesterday, Trump spent Mother's Day sharing a bunch of reposted AI memes about just how great he is, including a picture of the last thing you see before being backed over in the Bass Pro Shop parking lot. He's not just spending his time repost debating. He's also engaging in some recreational idolatry, because last week Trump celebrated a new 22-foot golden statue of himself at his Miami golf club. Okay, surprisingly wrinkly. Looks like they forgot to steam out his pants, his shirt, and his face. And personally, I'd recommend adding a couple of handles to make it easier to pull down when we're liberated by the Canadians. The dedication
was led by a MAGA pastor named Mark Burns, who posted about it afterwards in a totally normal way, saying, let me say this plainly, this is not a golden calf. A little suspicious to deny worshiping false idols before anyone accuses you of it. It's like going to Applebee's and the waiter saying, our specials tonight are the sirloin and the loaded baked potato, and as it says on my button here, our salad dressing is urine-free. The pastor, urine-free salad dressing is a people pleaser, clearly. The pastor addressed the controversy saying a golden statue to yourself is absolutely normal.
Of course you love the statue. Who wouldn't love a statue of themselves? I mean, again, Michael Jordan loves a statue of himself. Allen Iverson loved the statue of himself. Shakira, the singer, loved the statue of herself.
Oh, Shakira, the singer. Thank you for clarifying. Otherwise, I would have thought you meant Shakira, the gynecologist. Hips don't lie. Now, scoot him down. At the reviews are in because several pro golfers were asked about the statue and had these glowing statements. It's in place, he can do whatever he wants. And it's big as gold. Damn. As compliments go, that ranks up there with, you got a haircut. Would you look at that? It is shorter. Did they use scissors? Down in Washington, D.C., madness reigns. But someone who has been spending a lot of time there is Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, seen here seconds after finishing the last strand of spaghetti. Over the weekend, Duffy, who used to be on Real World and Road Rules, announced he just finished filming a return to reality TV with his family for the last 7 months. Well, better than him trying to run stuff. Maybe he'll inspire the rest of Trump's cabinet to neglect their own jobs. Sure. Why not? Maybe he'll inspire the rest of Trump's cabinet to neglect their own jobs for reality shows like Lutnick or Listitz, You Will Never Be Loved Island, and the masked acting Labor Secretary Keith E. Sonderland. Duffy's reality show is called The Great American Road Trip. There's a trailer.
What a beautiful family. I just had Mr. President, just like the President Trump. Taking a little trip.
Yes.
Little trip all over.
What? He does that all the time. What is this gesture? You guys gonna check out those amber waves of grain you're talking about? Don't forget the Purple Mountain's majesty, you know? The grain, the hawk, and don't forget the canyon. Now, Duffy had what? Duffy had one request for his road trip. Give me a song. I can't do a road trip without the song. Incorrect. You can't do a road trip without trying to pair the Bluetooth